Imagine a country where nearly every car on the street runs silently, powered by clean energy. In Norway, that vision is no longer science fiction. In May, electric vehicles made up almost 95% of all new car sales, a staggering leap from just a decade ago. The question on everyone's mind: how did this small Nordic nation become the world's electric vehicle superpower, and what does it mean for the future of cars everywhere? Norway's journey to electric dominance didn't happen overnight. Back in the early 2000s, Norwegians faced the same obstacles as drivers everywhere: expensive EVs, limited charging stations, and a whole lot of skepticism. But the government made a bold bet. What if they could nudge the market with some clever incentives? They slashed taxes on electric cars, opened up bus lanes for EV drivers, and offered free parking in city centers. Suddenly, buying an electric car wasn't just good for the planet, it was good for your wallet. Policy consistency and a long-term vision have been absolutely crucial, says Christina Bu, leader of the Norwegian EV Association. Those early steps transformed the streets of Oslo and Bergen, as Teslas and Nissans zipped past traffic jams in the diesel lanes. Over the years, Norway invested heavily in charging infrastructure, tackling range anxiety head-on. By 2025, charging stations are almost as common as gas pumps, making long drives across the country a breeze. This strategy has paid off in spectacular fashion. In May alone, more than 14,000 new cars hit Norwegian roads, and a jaw-dropping 94% of them were plug-in electrics. Battery-only vehicles scooped up nearly 94% of the market, while plug-in hybrids barely registered. Petrol cars? They made up less than 0.5%, a rounding error in a market that's racing toward total electrification. But behind these headline numbers lies a more complicated story. The Tesla Model Y is dominating the sales charts, grabbing more than 16% of the market on its own. Yet competition is heating up. Newcomers like the Opel Frontera, with its budget-friendly price tag and practical range, are drawing curious glances. The affordable Renault 5 and the stylish MG Cyberster are making their own waves, while established giants like Toyota and Volkswagen are fighting to keep their models in the top tier. Even as EVs rule the showrooms, Norway's auto market is experiencing some turbulence. The country's economy has stumbled, with first-quarter GDP shrinking by 0.4% and inflation hovering at 2.5%. Interest rates remain high at 4.5%, putting pressure on household budgets. As auto dealers roll out low-interest loans and aggressive marketing campaigns, some experts warn that pent-up demand and overdue replacements, not just pure enthusiasm for EVs, are driving today's sales spike. Espen Hauge, a leading voice in Norway's EV movement, points out, continued investment in charging infrastructure is the backbone of this transition. Without it, the system could crack under its own success. Others, like market analyst Erik Fogh Foss, wonder if Norway's incentive-heavy approach can survive as the government faces tough budget choices and the EV market matures. So, has Norway really found the perfect formula for an electric future, or are there hidden cracks in its seemingly flawless system? As new models flood the market and traditional incentives come under scrutiny, the stakes couldn't be higher. What happens if the economic winds shift, or if public support starts to wane? The next chapter of Norway's EV story could hold crucial lessons for the entire world. So what lies ahead for Norway's electric vehicle revolution? Can this small Nordic nation hold on to its astonishing lead while the world races to catch up, or could unexpected challenges be lurking around the corner? Let's start with the big picture. Norway's EV market share just hit almost 95% in May, with battery electrics taking nearly all of that. But if you look closer, some tremors are already running through the system. The economy is contracting slightly. Norway's gross domestic product shrank by nearly 0.5% in the first quarter of 2025, and inflation hovers at 2.5%. Interest rates are holding steady at 4.5%. That means households and car buyers are feeling the pinch. With incentives under review and the cost of living rising, some worry that demand for new EVs could cool. There's even debate in Parliament about trimming tax breaks for high-end electric cars. Christina Bu of the Norwegian EV Association warns, stable, predictable policy is the backbone of our success. If we lose that, we risk slowing adoption just as the rest of Europe accelerates. But there's another side to this story, one that could bring even stronger growth. Norwegian dealers are seeing pent-up demand from years of delayed purchases, and new affordable EVs like the Renault 5 and Opel Frontera are arriving. As Espen Hauge, a leading EV advocate, says, every year more Norwegians realize there's an electric car that fits their needs and their budget. Competition is also driving prices down. Chinese brands such as BYD and MG are pushing aggressively into the market, while traditional giants like Toyota and Volkswagen are refreshing their lineups. This is great news for consumers, but it could squeeze smaller players and force local dealerships to adapt fast. There's a technological wildcard too, the coming wave of smart grid integration. As Norway's share of EVs on the road climbs toward 1/3 of the total fleet, the country is preparing its electricity network for a future where millions of cars don't just charge, but help store and balance green energy. That's a model other countries will be watching closely. So, what does Norway's story mean for you, wherever you are in the world? First, it proves that mass EV adoption isn't just possible. It can happen fast with the right mix of policy, infrastructure, and public buy-in. If you're a policymaker, Norway's example shows the tremendous power of clear incentives and supportive regulations. As Julia Poliskanova from Transport and Environment puts it, incentives drive markets, markets drive change. For drivers and families, Norway's experience is a glimpse into a future where electric cars of every size and style are affordable and normal. It also highlights the importance of a robust charging network and smart planning. Avoid the pain points, and you'll find electric driving is not just clean, but convenient. But maybe the most surprising lesson is how quickly the landscape can shift. Less than 15 years ago, Norway's EV market was a curiosity. Today, it's global headline news. The real message? The next decade will be even faster and more unpredictable. New models, new players, and new technologies will shape not just what we drive, but how we produce, store, and use energy. So, can Norway's electric vehicle revolution last? The answer is yes, but only if it adapts. With competition growing, policies in flux, and the world watching, Norway's lead isn't guaranteed. Yet if any country is prepared to reinvent itself for an electric future, it's the one that made EVs mainstream. Here's a secret fact. While nearly 95% of new cars sold in Norway are electric, only about 29% of all cars on Norwegian roads are EVs. That means the real transformation is just getting started, a reminder that there's still plenty of opportunity and challenge ahead. If you found Norway's electric journey inspiring, imagine what your own city or country could accomplish with the same commitment. What would it take for your community to become a leader in clean mobility? Share your thoughts below, subscribe for more deep dives on global technology and economics, and stay tuned.